Hi, she's Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We are coming on episode 85?
Yep.
85 today, and we are excited to share with you some of the update reports and some of the things that we have worked on and the things that we are currently working on. As always, we love sharing our projects with you and just, how they just encourage us are such a concrete thing that we can always be thinking about or doing at any given time.
Yeah.
We have some fun stories as well to share with you this week because, man,
It's the season for fun stories.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, update: the blanket is completed. The granny rectangle Anya from Ophelia Talks blanket is done. It will be shown at the end of this video. Stick around for that. I show a whole bird's eye view of it. So that will be there. Since then, I have made a scarf, and I wanted to talk about that. A lot of scarves that I see are wide and they're going vertically. No, yeah. Horizontally. They go horizontally. And so, and you can have your different layers and all that. And I love those scarves too.
They are creating it on the smaller end, not the longer end.
Yeah. They're just having short rows and all the way until they're finished with it. I decided to do mine different. So I have one that I use for my good coat. It's got a V cut, and when it's cold out, you want something around your neck and keep you, So I just needed one that fit perfectly around my neck and then could be crossed over inside my coat, and so it would keep my neck warm and my chest area where the V cut is. And I wanted to make another one for a friend of mine. Christmas is coming up, and it's just fun to make things that, and it's going to take very little time to do. Mm-hmm. And so what I had done the first time is you go lengthwise. So, whatever stitch count you want, you just make the chain for however long you wanted it. Mine, I just made it 150 because I just wanted it short enough to just kind of tuck into my coat and not really wrap around my neck or have it hanging out or anything like that. That just makes my hair go crazy, to be honest with you. In the wintertime, my hair just kind of does not the frizz, it gets static. And I don't like that. So, long story short, I made this red scarf. I did make it at 200. I did 201 chains and then went back with a half double crochet, so it was 200 across for 12 rows.
It does have sparkle in it.
I'm not sure if it's showing, but it does have a sparkle in the yarn. And
it's a much deeper red than it is showing. We have a bit of a diluted lens, but it's very deeper red, and it has some incredible shine in it.
And it's just a simple 12 row 200 stitch across scarf.
What stitch did you use?
Half double crochet.
Okay.
And a 10 millimeter hook or a 5 millimeter hook.
It's really nice, Mom. I like it.
And my friend's favorite color is deep red. So I went in my stash and found that, and it was just like perfect. And to pair with that, I wanted to give her an ornament I made several years ago. So this is a wooden ornament with a live edge on it. Now the live edge is starting to come loose, but I think it'll be okay still. And she could always hook another ornament down at the bottom. Yeah, a dangle on it if she wanted to. But what I did for this is I have stamps. And so I just used black ink and a stamp, and it says Merry Christmas.
So sweet.
And then the other side says, friends are a gift from God. So I'm just going to give that to her along with the scarf, and I'll do that this weekend, and she can have that for the season, and it should match anything that she has. If you wear a black coat or anything, you know, it should go right along with that. But so I have the blanket done. I got my scarf done that I wanted to make for my friend. So I started another blanket.
I love those colors. They're beautiful.
And what I'm doing is I'm using a mandala, which is a 3-ply.
So it's going to change colors eventually.
Yes. And a solid.
Oh, that salad is
4-ply.
It's, again, diluted, but this is like a neon... I don't know.
Peach.
Yeah, like a
Like a
neon,
peach.
like a Barbie peach, like you'd see down in like Florida or
Yeah.
something.
So I have a 3-ply and a 4-ply. So I'm using my 10 millimeter hook.
Is it nice to have that back?
It is. I haven't used it in a long time, so I'm getting used to the grip again. But I'm using my standard 101 chains, 100 back, half double crochet, and it's just going to change colors naturally with the mandalas that I'm using.
I know this might be like a random shout out, but like to anyone who's watched Hook, like with Robin Williams in it, when the imagination food finally becomes visible because Robin Williams, who's playing Peter Pan, is finally using his imagination and gaining his powers back.
A lot of those colors were really brilliant.
Really brilliant, very nice paired neon colors, like constant, like it was constant look of neon colors.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of that. Again, it looks diluted, like this looks nice on the camera, but like in real life, this is kind of like a really like a kid's like vibrant contrasting like Barbie, Florida, California kind of like beach bum look.
Yeah.
It looks great.
And you know, so
It's very summer.
yeah,
For
I'll
the
have
fall,
different
for the winter.
I'll have different solids as I'm going through the mandalas,
Yeah,
and it's just
gonna
going to
be
build on each other.
It's gonna look great.
So I'm having fun with that. And looking around, I'm just trying to figure out. Oh,
Did you-
I wanted to say before you get started. A couple of years ago, my friends,
quite a while ago.
gave us a bowl of
Nice desserts.
nice desserts and homemade desserts, and this very elegant bowl. It's etched, and I have been using it for my yarns.
It's beautiful. It's
And
awesome.
I just think that I can't find another better use for it at this time, and the yarn just kind of pulls, and it's easy. It slips right into my hand so easily with that. And
It's deep enough that it very much. It's deep enough but curved enough that it cradles the yarn just right, that it doesn't want to get pulled out, but it stays put and it still tumbles just well. And it pairs nicely with another ball of yarn, like because it's in a boat, almost like in a canoe shape.
Yeah. So if you ever want to just have something simple to hold your yarn, look in your cupboards.
And did you let them know that you found out about the Linus?
That was another thing I was going to say. If you live in the Muskegon, Michigan area, our Joann's out on, what is it, Harvey? Sternberg? Out in that area, out by the mall, has a Project Linus box. And it is located across from the cutting table. And so if you want to donate blankets for the kids, that's an area that we can do that. And my husband knows the manager of this. It's one of his best friend's sister. And so I told her that we had a YouTube channel and I would be promoting the Project Lioness on our channel, and so that's what I'm doing right now. If you have any blankets to donate and you are in the Michigan area, that's where you go. Joann's out by the mall, out on Harvey and Sternberg area, and the drop-off box is it has Project Linus right on it, but it's right across from the cutting table for the fabric. So, just so you know.
Obviously, that's close enough to us in our location that that's the most convenient place for us to drop it off.
Yeah.
But pretty much just if you are interested in this program, it is for people that make quilts, crochet Afghans, or any variation of making blankets, tie blankets, anything. They will take any blanket
that is homemade
and distribute it amongst people in need of it. And it's loosely inspired by the Linus blanket from the Peanuts.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Brown.
If you look into the Project Linus at all, it says that the kids consider the blankets a hug because they're going through tough times at the time. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that little fun factoid. So update. Sorry, my son just passed out on us.
Okay, I'm gonna go lay him down real quick.
Okay. Get me my phone. Okay. If he doesn't let you take it, that's fine. But so the current situation is that with the Godzilla, it is completed. It's in its complete entirety, and it was massive when it was fully done. It has already been given to my nephew. So I have already given my mom a small video of it in its entirety. But I will show you photos momentarily once I have my phone to obviously give you a visual of what it was like when it was fully done. But outside of that, I have been working on other crocheting Christmas projects, steering away from birthdays now that we're kind of past some of our heavier birthday season. But I am here. I can do this. I will pull up that Godzilla update for you guys real quick. Oh goodness. My phone is like freaking out because it's like, look at the weather. It's crazy. Okay. And the camera, and it's right here. So you saw how big it was. Even if you go back to last week's episode, you got the scale of what it was. But this is it in its entirety with the spines or / fins on the back and the tail being fully done. It stood tall and it was heavy.
It's bigger than Canyon.
It was, and this is it, and the back being with all the fins on it and the tail having like spikes added to the spirals, and it just was a hunker. Like I said, this thing probably stood about 2 foot tall, was probably about 3 foot long, if not a little bit longer. And
from head to tail, or tip of tail.
Yeah, this was quite the project.
And Noah loves it.
Yep, this is a bit of the video of me showing it off. Me just trying to get the best visual I could. The only place I could really film at that moment was in the kitchen, so I do apologize for that, but I was just trying to get the best overall view of it as possible. So, yep, it's now to its owner.
Yeah.
And, he was, he's on the autism spectrum. And it was so funny because I don't get to see him very often, and so that's why I kind of like to go all out when I make them gifts, because it's a physical presence of my love to them and my, me thinking of them, even
They
if I
live
can't
like
be.
30 to 40 minutes from us. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terribly far, but it's not towards town.
Right.
It's outside of what we would consider our normal pathway or drive.
You have to make the trip.
Yeah, it's different than just like my mom could pass me and come stop and drop something off.
Oh, yeah.
Or I can still come out to her without it being so far out of my way. It's an intentional drive out into the country for us to be able to go there. And because they live out in like a county or two away from us with that drive, they don't come out here very often because they live in their own county where they have their own big store and their own gas stations.
And that's where they work.
And that's where they work in their school district. And it's not inconvenience for us to cross paths a lot of the time.
Right.
So I had to be intentional to go drop it off and to be able to go see him. And I hand it to him, and he doesn't have the same reaction as maybe any kid would of just like, oh, like he doesn't. But the one thing that he did do was he looked at it, and I have made him that Bowser before, and I have made his little brother Nicholas a Mario, and now a Link from the Legend of Zelda, the warrior that you play. And he just stared at the Godzilla, and he's like, this is Godzilla. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I made it for you, buddy. I hope you like it for your birthday. And he's like, you can make anything in the whole entire world with yarn? You can make anything in the whole entire world with yarn, Aunt Sarah. And I was just sitting there just being like, I was so flattered, but I could feel the pin drop of, oh.
What's he going to ask for next?
I'm going to eat. I'm going to be eating these words. They are going to come back to haunt me or to cash in on the, I just was sitting there just being like, yeah, sure, buddy, no problem. Yeah, that's what I aspire to do. And my brother, who is his stepdad, just gave me this look like, you're in for it now. And I'm just like, oh, God.
Here we go.
I've now set such an expectation in his mind that I can just make anything. And it was like, oh, no. Granted, I love making these origami patterns, and I do not regret spending my time doing them or investing my time in the imagination and the creative art that it is, and I will continue to do it and continue to improve in my style and being able to be that much more detailed and articulate and more aimed at getting better at shaping and stuff. But it was just like,
oh, I think you did well.
That was just such a moment of like clarity for me to be like, oh no, me loving on them might have really screwed me up in the later run, but it's all good. At some point it will obviously be cashed in, but I don't know when it's going to happen.
I can't wait to see the next one.
So I told you guys I have to get Christmas presents done. It is a must. It is a get her done. And
since last week, this is what she has gotten done.
So I only have about 2 weeks left. Oh, a week and a half left.
Yeah.
So I really have to hustle. But here's the thing. This really didn't take me that long.
No.
Now, granted, I'm still technically working on it, but I'm already about to start the next one.
Yeah.
And the body itself didn't take me long.
You can do the detailed work, anytime.
Mm-hmm. I made the unicorn mermaid for my daughter. I am making a unicorn mermaid for the girl that is living, the little girl in my house that's living with me, and that's going to be in different colors. So you'll see that probably next week. But
she's so cute.
Here she is.
Oh my gosh.
Her little tail, her curves, her little bandeau cover for her chest. she has,
A full head of hair.
yeah, I might have overdid it. The lady was just like, eyeball where you want the strip of the mane to be, and she explains very thoroughly in the pattern how she installs the hair. She's like, yeah, just do it from this point to this point and do so many rows in that area. And yeah, I did 42 installations making 44 installations making 88 strands, because when you're chaining, then you're slip stitching, and then you're chaining back up.
Okay.
So it makes 2 strands at a time.
That's awesome.
And
I love the colors.
I don't think I just made 44. I spent 2 days on this mane. 2 days.
And it's curly and it's lovely and
Yes.
I love it.
And I like, they can make it all sorts of moody. They can flip it over and make it like a.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to be doing the doll's hair.
They can do a half up, half down hairdo.
Yeah.
And when I was separating it so I could do specific things to, different color placements, I would have to I was tying it up, and it was it just stays, but it looks layered because all of it is the same length. So as it domes over the head, it's all cascading down. This is a sparkly yarn. It's a Mandela yarn, and I separated the Mandela I kept rolling it until I would hit a color change, cut it, and then make them into balls so that it was all in the same color range. It came from an already designed palette, and then I just, like I said, I used that. I can actually pull up what I used. This was just a teal, I think this was Karen yarn. I used just standard white. This was just a nice pastel purple that I found. This was all in either 3 or 4 weight yarn. I found the eyes, which they are safety eyes, and they technically do have glitter in them. I was not exactly happy about the eyes, and I'll tell you why. In comparison to the other safety eyes that I got, which I actually used to make the nostrils because they wanted you to use buttons, but it's what I had. The safety eyes that I again used to make the nose, I bought a while ago online, and they came in this really nice little tackle box. I had many different options, and the backs to them came in little Ziplocs like these. Worked perfectly. They fit in my, the pouches I use all the time. And so I'm like, I can just buy safety eyes again, about the same price as that, but in a bigger size for the project I was working on. And it came in this. No Ziplocs, they just come like this. And here's the thing, I got it in 6 different sizes, which was what I asked for. But here's the thing, it's kind of like a figure it out. The eye comes on its own, and I'm struggling because I had to search through the eyes that didn't have a chip in it or a crack in it, or the resin had a bubble in it and they never knocked out the bubble before it hardened. And like I said, this is clear. I haven't added anything to it because they want you to add it in where it's a disc and you're just pushing it through.
Okay.
So you can choose your own color of what you want, which in some ways I could see how that would be appealing to some people. I made it work. But like I said, I'm dealing with some of these that, it's very quick-minded packaging, but look at that.
Oh no.
See, you can see it had a bubble in the resin when it was trying to harden. And it could look cool. I understand that with the color coming through it, it's not going to look terrible, but that's not what I asked for.
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's I need this. I need to get this done. I can't just return this because I still can find exactly what I need out of the box, even if I'm irritated. I plan to just send an email back to the company just being like, just so you know, not all of these safety eyes are coming out the same. Some of them are being chipped, some of them have the air bubbles, and I wasn't expecting the packaging it came in, though I recognized that wasn't a part of the description. This other company obviously went further and beyond with the tackle box.
Right.
I didn't technically pay for a tackle box, but when you're a crafter, anything that the person does to supply you to make it easier, even take that extra step, it makes for a long-lasting customer. And so I don't know, I guess my expectation was set high because of what I got before.
Yeah.
Recognizing that they did send me what I bought, I do recognize that them not doing the resin right and having it chipped is still damaged goods, but me still having to manually put the backs on, for as much as I wasn't expecting to have to do that, it still comes out with a safety eye, with a glittery eye. It's just, I guess I'm just a little... My expectation was that I was going to get something similar to this tackle box, and I didn't. Which is on me, not them, but I'm just saying not all Amazon products come the same. Yeah. Because Amazon's kind of a platform for different vendors, so even if you do get things off of Amazon Prime, that's still through vendors. So these two companies were not the same ones that I bought from, even though I got them both on Amazon.
Right.
So I do recognize that all. I'm not trying to be entitled. I'm just startled at how Amazon can have the same price range for both, like 50 set eyes, and they both come in a different size quality.
Right.
I guess that's just kind of where I'm going with it. I recognize it's not that big of a deal, but I just figured I'd let you know. I know that I just will be communicating with them. I'm not asking for my money back. I just think that they should know that some of their eyes are not coming out the same as the other ones, because that could really hurt them in this holiday season.
Quality control was not met.
Yes. So I am currently with this project, the hair that I used, the yarn that I made to use this hair, here, hold this.
Okay.
Please and thank you, was a Lion Brand Mandela sparkle yarn, sparkle, and it was in the shade Serpent, and this was like this was the ombre that it goes through. So the colors I have left in the balls are like this nice teal, this darker blue, this even darker blue that's going into a purple, and then here's the purple, and like you have the yellow and the green, and you have kind of like this peach kind of going into like a pink. And
I think they all work really well together.
I felt, so the friend who, I've mentioned this before, I have a roommate currently right now helping a friend out while she's transitioning, and so her and her daughter will be with me over Christmas, and her daughter is 2 years older than mine, so mine's a 4-year-old girl and she has a 5-year-old girl.
6.
Yes, my bad, 6, yes. And so her daughter has a little bit more of, as her character has built more because she is older, she will want something like this, she will appreciate something like this, but Olivia, being 4, is going to just appreciate that this looks like a mermaid and it's in the colors of a unicorn. This is a met expectation of what she's getting.
Oh, yes. Yes,
and
she's going to love that.
And she loves the color palette already, so I know I'm safe. But Abby, like the 6-year-old, is going to have, it has a much more acquired taste. She already knows what she likes a little bit more. Yeah. It's not just easily as influenced as, oh, I like it because of the show, or I like it because that's what unicorns and mermaids look like.
No, she's thought about it more.
Abby's favorite colors currently, as of right now, are reds, pinks, and whites, which really speaks Valentine's to me.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a red tail, white body, and then I think I'm either gonna do a pink bandeau or a blue bandeau. I figured those would go good, or maybe yellow, I don't know yet. And I liked this mandala yarn, but I don't think that this specific palette will work the same as it did with this more neuter or like mellow color palette that I did with this body. Right. So I'm going to get a much richer, kind of like this dark blue matches really good. Matches better.
Tones.
Right, the tones. Whereas this teal wouldn't. This teal matched this project more.
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna look into the other sparkle mandala yarns that Lion has.
See if you can get some jewel tones.
And see if I can get some jewel tones, so it'll be the same look, it'll be the same crafting materials, but a different palette. So it'll be the same unicorn, mermaid, just a different palette. Now, a couple of things. I am making this different than the pattern did require. My changes are, again, I added more hair. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. That's much more in the how you want to then do the doll, how you want to, because the hair is a little bit more of an optional design factor, because I could have just, I don't know, there could have been other ways you did the hair than just this. Like, you could have done that pattern where you chain, and then as you're coming back across the other way, you're doing like a double crochet into like 2 or 3 double crochets into one chain all the way across, so you're making little curly cues.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
I
talking?
think this curl is just fine.
What I'm saying is you can make those curly cue crochet chains that are like really popular for beginners.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that.
Okay.
And make unicorn hair where it's like curls.
The curls. Yeah.
I've seen that done with unicorn projects for our Gurumi 1,000 times. So that is a staple. I think the strands are going to work better for the girls. And obviously this project is a bit scaled down, so that works here. But like I said, that kind of is much more of like a, how do you want to do the hair? They just told you what they did. The horn works great. I did the safety eyes, and I didn't place it the same. Again, you know me at this point. I get a pattern and I use my materials to its scale. Meaning, this lady was using finger weight yarn for this. So the doll was probably about half the size of this.
Yeah. And
that's fine. That doll is incredibly cute, especially for the model of the pattern.
I think that this is going to work better for the
But
kids.
this, I always use the worsted weight 4-ply acrylic yarn because it's easier for me to get in my region of the world.
Yep.
And it's what I'm used to, comfortable with. I am comfortable with my my gauge of hook, which is normally a 5mm. It's what I use. It's what I am comfortable with. It's my standard hook is this baby. It's what I use. With the hair, I will say I did get another hook out. I got a smaller hook. I got a 3 3/4, so 3.75 hook. I think I did that with the horn and the hair. So I thought that would be smart, and I might have. I don't think I did it for the fins, the ears, or the muzzle, because I wanted it to be the same size in that. But I think the proportions came out well.
Yeah, they did.
They wanted buttons, like crisscross sewing buttons for the nose. I had safety eyes that I thought would work just the same.
I think they look better this way.
I didn't want them to pop off.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get the project going and done. So I was using things I already had. When it came to making the bandeau, I did it similar to what they said. It didn't work out to the same stitches that it thought that it worked for for her scale. Like she said, she stitched 70 chains one way. I only did 40 one way, attached it, and 40 back. So like our scale with the yarn that we were using was completely different.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Just saying, like, obviously I'm using bigger yarn than she is. It's fine. But again, there's some creative liberty there where it's like making the bandeau, use it to your specs. She tells you how to make it very clearly, so still use her kind of guided pattern. But if the stitches are not the same, just do it to what exactly works for your size. Just chain till it actually fits around the doll. It doesn't have to be her chain size. It just has to fit the doll. And I made sure that I kind of, when I was sewing it together in the front and then making the little scrunch to not have the seam in the back, I just hit it with the scrunch, that I sewed it still so that it wouldn't move, because my daughter's going to move it. I end up chaining on top of the pattern to kind of close off and make sure that this was a complete round and transition. Because the body was never supposed to be more than one color. In the original pattern, the body was fully supposed to be white, and the only things of color on it besides the hair was supposed to be the bandeau and the fins. And I thought that looked weird, because my traditional way of looking at mermaids is this style.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do bandeau, then it's not just a horse. You're making it like a female mermaid.
Exactly.
So I decided to do the traditional kind of like aerial look with the purple and the teal, and my child's favorite color is teal right now. So as soon as the hips were done, at that point, they wanted you to stuff the tail, and I made that the point in my notes to say, color change, go to white, so like you can start building up the body, because that's now it was now just going in the rounds, going up, because you had already decreased enough, so it was like, that was the perfect point. But I crocheted on top to make an even, once it was done, I crocheted across it to make like an even V's chains on top, just slip stitching across so that it didn't see it, and I hid it with a slip stitch to make it seem like it was one infinity chain around. The only other thing that I can say that I'm doing different is that with some of the detail work, they want you to just embroider it, which again works perfectly fine. But I'm going to be using puff paint. I have a black one in this size too that I'm going to make like eyelashes, and like they don't have this, but in My Little Pony you can get what's called cutie marks to prove what your like purpose is. And I think I'm going to do like a little heart on the hip and like all different types of designs. I also got some beads. I don't know where they went at the moment. My goodness, I thought I had them out. I don't want to wait too long, as we were getting on with our program pretty even keel here, but I don't know where they went. I know I had them out. Well, that's suspicious. Anyway.
But they were like pink pearls.
Pink, purple, and like golden pearls that I'm gonna make like beaded necklaces and like bracelet, and that will be sewn on and like maybe decorate the tail. This pattern also comes with the ability to make a little star wand, where it's like a little starfish that's on the tip of like, I don't know what they're gonna suggest to be the wand that you can kind of stick in the project so it looks like a hand. What I'm actually going to do instead of having it like that is that I'm going to bring it together, and I'm going to sew the star where it's being held by both arms, and the arms will now be locked in place like this, and I'm going to put my daughter's initial for her first name is an O. So I'm going to put the letter O in it. And for the other girl, when I make hers, the other big distinction will be whatever she's holding, it will have an A on it. So that it's even that much more special. And I think I'm going to make like a star for her with a heart on her hip, and then the other girl's going to be holding a heart with a star on her hip.
Yeah.
So that they both have the same shapes, they just are
in
different.
in different places.
So those are the differences that I will be making with this project. I should have the other one by next week, and I should already pretty much be on my way to get cannules done. I will be on a deadline by that point. But yeah, that's currently where I'm at with these projects. So I hope you guys like that, and you will be on my journey as I really hustle to get this done. Cannules is a much more intricate project, and I'm kind of worried about my time spent on that one, but I'm going to get it done. I am making him a Blippi. If you don't know what Blippi is, it is a more recent children's entertainer and educator that is a man that comes and plays the character Blippi. He tends to wear kind of like a golf cap and really fun bright glasses with suspenders, and he goes around different places and teaches the kids different social skills, different things in the environment, different ways to play and interact with people. And he's just a very mild and fun character that this guy is now portraying, and the character's name is Blippi that he plays. And his colors are blue and orange, so it's like a blue and orange hat with like an orange shirt with suspenders and like blue jeans, and he wears these really bright orange rimmed glasses, and his shoes normally his sneakers are normally orange and blue. And so my mom's going to be looking through her stash to see if she has those colors and can offer them to me, so I can start working on that one on the side, because the way that's working is that I'm working on these projects primarily at night, which is really hard. So like with the bodies, I kind of just make them regardless of the fact that the kids are here. But I'm not
playing, they're not paying attention.
But what I'm saying is, like, I'm not putting the hair in while they're here. Like, I'll make the body, and like the arms have to be made separate, the muzzle, the ears have to be made separate, even like the tip of the tail, and like these fins have to be made separate. So like I'll make the pieces, but then sew them together at night. Or like I can stuff it, but I can't complete it till later. Or I can get the yarn set aside. My bad. My alarm's going off or something. Those different things where I'm really kind of like articulating what I'm doing and using my time in the most organized time I have. And because my daughter and this girl go to school during the day, I'm able to work on the girls' projects regardless of the fact that Candy's here, because he's 2 and he really doesn't know how to tell them that I'm doing this. But at night is the only time that I don't have Candy on my hip, and that is a much more intricate, detailed project. It's smaller, so if I have extra time and more extra stuff, I might make him a little rocket ship to go with his, so it kind of weighs out the bigness of this and the little scale of the other things. But that's my current thing. And before we close out, one more thing. I've been searching for my wedding ring for a while. After one of our videos, I had put it in my Crocheted because my hands were getting hurt with all the water and like sand that I was being exposed to, and it was getting under my ring and cutting up my finger. I put it in here to make sure I didn't lose it, because my crochet hooks are in this. And I was like, okay, it has a lid on it, it's fine, I'll just put it in my bag and I'll know where it is. It won't just be in a zipper where it could be knocked out by the kids. I haven't been able to find it in months, this container. And I was freaking out. And then the other day I was like, I have to find it. And my friend who, like I said, is living with me is just like, you're gonna find it when you least suspect it. And I'm just like, but I have to find it. And then my mom's coming over and she's like, and my mom's like, don't worry, you're going to find it. And within 5 minutes, after looking for months, girls, I just start screaming because, and they're both just like, what's going on? I'm like, I found my ring. This is weird. I don't understand. And at first it didn't fit. And then my mom's just like, well, just wait a little bit. Just drink some water and maybe your sodium level will go down. And then all of a sudden it fit. Well, now my sodium level is back up where now my ring won't come off. but it's not hurting my finger. But I'm just sitting there being like, well, now I know I'm not going to lose it. But in the summertime, I have a hard time with my ring because if I wear it and I wash my hands, the coating on the metal wears off. And when I'm playing in the dirt and sand with my kids, it just gets under my finger, my nail, and the ring, and just rips my skin up. So as I'm putting my stuff away, you can start the stuff.
We're going to do a quick scripture here, and then remember that at the end of this video is going to be the small video I made of the bird's eye view of
The blanket that you made.
granny rectangle blanket.
Yep.
So our scripture today is, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 in the NIV. I don't even know what that.
New Living Translation.
No.
NIV.
See, is it NIV? Whatever that version is.
New International Version.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Anyway, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. I'm always trying to encourage anybody I come in contact with, whether it's to you guys, to make sure that you guys know that you're incredible and you can do anything that you set your mind to. Anything in the crafting world that you
can imagine
you can make. I mean, look at Sarah here. And there's all kinds of patterns out there, and for any kind of skill level. So you can do these things, and I'm here to encourage you in that. And we just wanted to make it simple today because we knew we were going to be talking about so many things, and just bringing it up just simple as that. And so I don't know if you have a take on it or if you wanted to do your quote. That was going with it.
I found a quote that I thought matched this pretty well, and it says, "So if cheerfulness or a good temper, the more it is spent, the more it remains," by Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is from his work, The Conduct of Life. I thought it was just interesting how, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. It's very reciprocal, and the more that you do it, the more that it sticks, the more that it doesn't tend to leave you. And it's one of those things where it's like, we see in neurology all the time that if your brain gets used to something, it then rewards itself with that way of thinking, even if it's the right or wrong way of thinking. Obviously this is the right way of processing information, as long as it's not dismissive. But encouragement is encouragement. It's lifting someone up. It's being like, this is how you stand out and how you bring life to the situation, and I appreciate that you do that, and in the only way that you can. And by doing it, you're just spreading it, and it just dominoes, and it will always come back to you. And just like with this cheerfulness, with a good temper, if you have it and you use it, it will remain. Instead of it being something that you're pouring out and then it empties you, it tends to come right back. It's kind of like a smile. When you smile and someone else smiles back, it tends to be one of those gifts that always comes back.
Everything that she said is so true. And the one image that keeps coming to my mind is like a candle that's burning. You have the flame, but you can also put another candle's wick up to it, get
And
the flame from it, and it's not extinguished from the other one. It's
but just passing on.
It's just passing it on to another candle.
Yep.
So it's still there,
Yep.
and you can still encourage people
without losing your flame.
without losing anything at the same time. So it's just, we're here to encourage you and all that you're doing to brighten your day.
So, as always, we gotta kind of end this quickly as I have to go pick up my child, and we ran a little bit longer than we intended. So, for anyone that's even here and listening to us at this point, thank you. As she said before, if you stick to the end, you'll see her bird's eye view of the blanket that she finished. It's a little bit easier to show that way because this one has much more of a pattern than just kind of like showing where the yarn's placed and the scrappy blanket.
And since I don't know how to put it into the video, I just put it at the end. So we're going to say goodbye, but it's going to be right after that.
Yep. So we're going to learn on better editing skills into this new year for the channel. I think is something that we're going to be looking at. But to any of you that have been staying committed to us in these last 2 years and have been enjoying our videos from the beginning, despite how simplistic they are compared to many other creators, thank you.
Yes.
And we love you. And as always, we hope that you are encouraged and inspired and that you stitch your way
to mental health.
Hi everyone, this is Trixie. I'm just here to let you see the final product of my version of Ophelia Talks Scrappy Granny rectangle blanket, and it is finally finished, and I told you that I would let you see it. And yeah, this is something new for me. I have never done anything like this before. It is longer than it is wide, but I think it would go on the back of a couch very well. Try not to move too fast so you don't get dizzy. But yeah, it's just really fun to use your scraps on. You know, you use your smallest scraps in the middle and then you work your way out using bigger scraps as you go. And then I did four border colors. The first one's a deep purple, then there's a gold, a deep green, and then that bright orange. And I think it came together really well. So I'm just trying to get you to see the whole thing at once, which is really hard to do. But yep, there it is. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.